Growing up, almost every song I heard on the radio was a love song. And when Jesse McCartney sang, "I don't want my love to go to waste, I want you and your beautiful soul," there were times I thought, who? Me? But I didn't know songs could be reality until 2nd grade when I met my first crush, Ethan. Now, Ethan may have had dried ketchup all around his lips after lunch every day, but I could see past that. I appreciated how he would stop even mid-run to say hello, and how generous he was, especially with his laughter. However, as a child, I learned that love was something reserved for your family, a favorite food, and maybe a best friend. Romantic love was something forbidden, a distraction, a reason to cover my eyes in a movie. Most of all, it was a choice with grave consequences. You could study and go to your dream college and get a great job and live your best life, or you could get a boyfriend, betray your family, and become a teen mom trapped in intergenerational poverty. Besides, love would always be there. Your precious formative years, however, would never return. Unfortunately, the choice was made clear for me. It was 8th grade English class. I'd moved from the Midwest to the West Coast few years prior, and Ethan was nowhere to be found. Instead, behind me sat a group of boys who were very mean girls. To give you more context, little Clavita was a very fearless child. She was a strong believer of justice. If someone tried to make fun of me or any of my friends, I wouldn't suffer in silence. I would confront them, demand an apology, and present the facts. You think I'm ugly? Look in the mirror. You think I'm dumb? Tell me why you aren't getting these grades. And finally, a classic. You think I'm annoying? Well, I will continue to be. I wasn't the prettiest or nicest or smartest person in my class, but I believed in myself. I had friends who rooted for me, family members who supported me, and even if I wasn't popular, our peers voted me as president of the math club, the science club, and a few others. So I would say the people who mattered believed in me. I worked really hard, and that was a truth that no one could take away from me. I would classify this group of boys as a bunch of haters. They needed something, anything, to get to me. So one day, one of the boys takes out a plastic baggie from his backpack. He showed it off to his buddies, and all of them began snickering, hooting, and hollering. "Where did you get this?" they asked him. With a smug grin, he held up the bag for everyone to see. It was a used condom. And then he proudly pronounced to the entire class he had used it with me. When I heard my name, I didn't realize what was happening. I turned around, and in horror and disgust, I saw the boy take the condom out of the bag and throw it at me. It landed on my arm, and I still remember how it felt, how clammy and slimy it was, and I remember the smell. I flung it away, but as those boys pointed their fingers at me and laughed at me, I felt this sinking feeling that even as I ran to the restroom and washed my arm with soap and water, no amount of scrubbing would undo what had just been done. That maybe truth didn't matter as much as I thought it did, because a disgusting lie, a harmless joke, could still hurt me. I still remember the names and faces of these boys, including how that particular condom boy would send me a LinkedIn request years later asking to connect. There was a part of me, and maybe still is, that wanted to take that condom and shove it up his nose to make him eat his words. But underneath that rage was sadness and a quiet acknowledgement with myself that if I responded to his violence with violence, I would be the same kind of person he is. So for a while, I wanted nothing to do with boys. I stuck to one-directional love aimed at 2D crushes and fictional characters because that was so much safer. Who knew what kind of twisted desire, darkness, or ruin would lie behind a real boy? The road to healing my heart and feeling safe again took many twists and turns. During that time, I developed a love for a lot of other things that I felt didn't get written about in love songs. For example, I told you about Ethan, but what about Pallavi? The girl who moved in at the end of the street, who had huge black pearls for eyes. As we sat next to each other on the bus each day, how favored was I to get to know her sly sense of humor and fight over who was going to play Harry Potter on my Game Boy Advanced. Or what about the sense of betrayal I felt when my friend began dating one of the condom boys years later? The guilt I felt for even feeling betrayal at all, because how selfish was I to deny her an experience of love, even if it was with the last person I hoped it would ever be. And it wasn't until I could truly love myself that I could really love you. Or maybe those things happened together all at once, because you taught me what loving myself could feel like, and you made it seem so easy. And I know if you were there by my side, you wouldn't have let that happen. And since it already did, and it took me some time to heal, I appreciate how you're still there, waiting for me.
You already know who it is. It's Clavita. Yeah.
Welcome to Love Lines, a series on my channel where we'll navigate all kinds of love together and hopefully inspire each other to take action in our art and in life. In each video, I'll share a story, an original song or two, and songwriting tips along the way. Younger me carried a fear of love for a long time, and I'm going to venture to guess that I wasn't alone. Combined with a conservative upbringing, a culture that is infinitely creative when it comes to finding ways to shame men, women, all genders for their sexualities, and real life encounters with people who have internalized these beliefs and reflect their pain, all of this can make it a challenge to heal. For me, it took a lot of experiences, good and bad, relationships, including friendships with amazing people, and making music. I gave you a little sneak peek of Little, which is my new song dropping on Valentine's Day. If we can get it to 5K streams, I will drop the next video, which is about how to overcome writer's block. Little was a song that took me minutes to write the first demo and then months to actually complete it. So what do you do when you're stuck? I want to share all the behind the scenes struggles, so stream Little. I was also thinking that we could go through The Artist's Way together. The Artist's Way is a book that outlines a 12-week program to healing your inner child and artist. For each week, there's a theme and a series of exercises you do, and I thought it'd be fun if we could do them together. For each week, I would make a video, and all the clavicles can gather in the comments, and we could have a little community of artists growing together. So if you're interested in following along with me, let me know in the comments. Until then, shout out to all my clavicles out there. Remember, you are loved, and take care of yourself. Bye. Oh, what? Clavita? What took so long? Where you been? I don't know, y'all. Life is rough. I didn't want to come back empty-handed, you know? I wanted to use that time to be thoughtful and mindful about what I could bring to share and grow with all of you. So I'm sorry, but 2025 is truly the year for us to connect. Let's hold each other accountable, okay? Okay, bye for real now. Bye.